Once upon a time, about 10 years ago or so, I was walking through Yaletown when I saw Francesco Aquilini come wheeling out of a club, looking somewhat disheveled and shouting some woman's name as she got into a waiting Lamborghini. Aquilini ran to the car, he got down in a catcher stance at the driver's door, and he started pleading with the occupants. I couldn't really make out what was being said. I didn't want to. But from that moment on, I knew there would be a day, like yesterday for the Canucks chairman, that there would be an allegation at some point from someone about bad behavior that would require comment, maybe even intervention, from Gary Bettman and the NHL's head office. Yesterday, Postmedia reporting that Talia Aquilini has taken her ex-husband to court over financial support for their children's ongoing post-secondary education. Francesco wants to know details of what he's paying for in their educational pursuits. Alas, the three kids don't want to reveal details because they don't want any association with their father experiencing, quote, fear and anxiety that Francesco might contact them, according to a lawyer representing Talia. The children allege in sworn affidavits that their father was physically and psychologically abusive, that he once threw a 5-year-old across the room, punched one in the stomach, beat one as they slept. Francesco's attorney denied the allegations, calling them false. A statement said the Canucks chairman was, quote, outraged by the allegations. The NHL says it has contacted Aquilini and his lawyers and will respond if necessary as events unfold. This is a big test of Gary Bettman and the NHL. Do they actually have the courage to punish an owner after the Chicago Blackhawks scandal last year? The league told us it would be more vigilant, hold its members to a higher standard. Shouldn't governors be held to the highest standard of them all? Aren't they there to set the example, provide the leadership? Bettman's masterful trick as commissioner is that he gets owners to view him as the boss, even if he serves at their pleasure. So then be the boss, Gary. Show us that you're committed to good governance and good governors and an NHL that takes accusations of abuse seriously. Because as I've observed it over 15 years covering the team, Francesco and the Aquilinis are in the NHL for the wrong reasons. They're not community-minded people stewarding a community asset. The family itself is in it for the money, and Francesco is in it so he can rub elbows with celebrity. I was once told he insisted on a dinner with a Hollywood star as the final condition of a deal with a concert promoter looking to re-up with the arena. We all saw that fawning letter he wrote to Tom Brady in 2015, desperate to cozy up to the GOAT and Giselle. I have long said that Francesco wants the prestige and clout of being a sports franchise owner without the responsibility of being accountable to Canucks fans, employees, and the public. The Aquilinis made a tremendous call by buying this team when they did, and they will now reap several times over their investment in a sale. But Francesco has to go. The city of Vancouver and the province of British Columbia deserve so much better. That's Welcome At for today. We invite your feedback. The feedback channels as follows on email live at sekeresandprice.com. You can text 778-402-9680 to the Great Clips inbox. Great Clips, check in online today to get a haircut on your schedule. On Twitter, I'm at Sekeres, at Sekeres and Price. And the Welcome Out a presentation of Northlands Golf Course, Metro Vancouver's premier public golf course. It's open year-round, regular greens year-round, fantastic conditions. Don't put those clubs away. You can still work on your game, get better, be ready when spring rolls around because you've played in the fall and the winter. Book your next tee time at golfnorthlands.com. And I'm finally getting out there today, Blake, to play around, weather permitting, after we were canceled on Friday.
Well, good luck with that, and good luck to Canuck Nation in finding any sort of finality to the story. As I said, I'm not optimistic that this story is going anywhere, but just hanging over this team for the foreseeable future because I just don't see a conclusion. I don't see this family, and Francesco Aquilini in particular, succumbing merely to public dissent into these allegations. I don't think that's going to be enough. I really don't. I'll be
the patriarch here is
happy to be wrong.
Yeah, as with anything Aquilini, the patriarch's word is the final word. Luigi Aquilini is near 90 years old. I don't know what kind of condition he is in. But I suspect that whatever he decides will be the course set. You do wonder where Francesco's brothers are on this at this stage of the game. And then the other thing that we were talking about before we started recording, this is now a particularly difficult sales process because of what has been done to that parcel of land.
Yeah,
where Rogers Arena sits with the towers and the towers being attached to the arena.
It's not just a team. It's not just a team and arena.
It's the parcel of land. It's the towers, and needless to say, land in downtown Vancouver. Plus, of course, now it's the Abbotsford Canucks, right? They own the Abbotsford Canucks as well and operate the arena out in Abbotsford Center. So, yeah.
Very complicated.
They made a tremendous business call, the Aquilini family, when they saw what was happening to the franchise under absentee owner John McCaw all those years ago. They thought it was a sleeping giant and could be highly profitable and much bigger than what it was. They were absolutely right about it. In the early years when they allowed their staff to run the club, they had tremendous team success. We're at the cutting edge, right, of sports science, travel, and all the things that the Gillis administration brought forward. And then since then, I think the lesson has been that autonomy is a fleeting concept in an Aquilini business. You take a look at the different business heads that have left, from Chris Zimmerman to Victor DeBonis to Jeff Stipek to Trent Carroll. Now Michael Doyle is in the chair. And you take a look at the different hockey heads that have left or been fired, from Gillis to Trevor Linden to Jim Benning, and now to Jim.
And to me, that might be the worst consequence of this story for the hockey fan. And certainly there are far bigger consequences on the human side of things here if these allegations are true. But this is an incoming management group that has known this ownership for 9 months, 10 months. Mm-hmm. It's not a great first impression in the opening year of this is what we're involved with. They brought in all this new staff. Mm-hmm. All the ex-Penguins that have come over from the chief revenue officer on down. Mm-hmm. They're thinking, wow, I left City X for this? Mm-hmm. Like, this is who we're like, it's not a good look for the organization. It's not a good look. And yet I don't know where it goes from here.
And, you would have hoped that Rutherford, Alvin, Boudreau all would have done their homework to know, because let's face it, we have heard in the past that there are some managers, Dean Lombardi was always one, right, that just wasn't going to come here to work for this ownership group. And one of the things that I've always, had front of mind when I've looked at different positions over the years, Blake, is who am I working for? Who's my boss?
Yeah.
Do I like them? Do I think they're reasonable? Do I believe in their vision, their leadership, and all of that?
Me too, and yet here we are.
I can categorically say I believe in my current boss, Blake Price, more than anyone that I've ever worked for.
I appreciate that. Mutual.